Ben Affleck is a multi-talented guy. Not only is he a great actor who's appeared in too many movies to mention, he's also an Oscar-winning screenwriter and as a director has made some rather wonderful films too. If that wasn't enough, he's been blessed with good looks, was married to Jennifer Lopez and Jennifer Garner, and has height in abundance. If you took a poll of the most desirable male stature, Affleck's height would be near the top of the results. But just how tall is Ben Affleck? As a teenager, Ben was a little guy. Up until age 15, he was short. Ben says, I was pretty small, only 5'4" as a teenager, and at age 16 suddenly grew about a foot. I always thought of myself as a little guy, and after growing was incredibly gangly and awkward. But is Ben really almost 6'4"? Well, in 2003, a journalist mentioned how Ben did indeed claim 6'3.5", but their photographer didn't have to stand in a chair to photograph Ben, but they did for Vince Vaughn. In Hollywood, there's a kind of height range in which becoming a leading man is more difficult. Think about major film stars who are 6'5". Vince Vaughn, Tim Robbins. I run celebheights.com and even I'm struggling to think of major A-listers of that stature. Ben actually once commented upon the factor of being too tall. In 2000, he said he was 6'3" and people told me I'm too big to be a leading man. So does Ben really come across as an actor who's 6'3" or 3.5"? Well, when your best friend is Matt Damon and your kid brother is barely 5'9", you've probably spent the last 30 years slouching in photos. Ben even once joked about how incredibly short Matt Damon is. However, Matt claims to be 5'10.5", and if you take out Northern Europe, he's well above the world average. It's good having a sense of humour about height. Just ask Simon Pegg. He claims 5'10" too. But with taller actors, a guy like Ben is bound to stand quite tall. In Armageddon, we could see Ben was right between the almost 6' Bruce Willis and the nearly 6'5" Michael Clarke Duncan. And with Hugh Jackman, again Ben looks a rather tall guy, but maybe not quite a big 6'3" bloke. Throughout his career, Ben has starred with many actors who are well over 6 foot, like for instance, Morgan Freeman in Sum of All Fears, Josh Hartnett in Pearl Harbor, Liev Schreiber in Phantoms, Samuel L. Jackson in Chasing Lanes, and Justin Timberlake in Runner Runner. Wait, Timberlake is a tall guy? Well, he claims at least 6'2", but how does Ben stack up against actors I've met? With Jeremy Renner, he seems more 6'2" than 3", but with Charlie Hunnam, he can look over 6'2". Ben is the tallest actor to date who has played Batman, and with his 6'4" Jason Momoa and the almost 6'2.5" Ray Fisher, Ben holds up pretty well there. When Affleck claimed 6'3.5", I reckon he was measured at that mark, but in shoes, and the celebheights.com visitors seem to agree. From 456 votes, they reckon Ben Affleck's height is between 6'2" and 2.5".